Listen, Keir Starmer just lost his chief of staff and his response is to replace one person with two people because apparently when you're drowning, the solution is to grab twice as many life jackets. Hit subscribe if you want the daily dose of political chaos because this government's falling apart faster than a cheap IKEA wardrobe. So Morgan McSweeney walks out this morning over the Mandelson disaster, and by this afternoon Starmer's appointed Vidhya Alakeson and Cuthbertson as joint acting chiefs of staff. Joint. Two people doing one job. Nothing says strong, decisive leadership like splitting the most important role in Downing Street between two deputies and hoping they don't trip over each other. And here's the thing. These aren't random appointments plucked from thin air. Alakeson's been handling policy and delivery, forging ties with the business community, managing external relationships. She's got serious credentials from the Resolution Foundation and the last Labour government. Cuthbertson's the ultimate gatekeeper to Starmer, ran his office when he was opposition leader, did the same for Ed Miliband and Gordon Brown. They are capable people. Bless them. But let's be clear about what's actually happening here. Starmer's not appointing a new chief of staff. He's appointed two acting chiefs of staff. Acting. That's temporary in political speak. That's we haven't got a clue what we're doing, but we need warm bodies in the room speak. You don't replace your most powerful advisor, the man who got you into number 10, the architect of your election victory, with an interim tag team unless you're absolutely scrambling. This is crisis management dressed up as strategic reshuffling. Let that sink in for a second. The Prime Minister is fighting to save his premiership, and his big move is to split leadership responsibilities between two people while his own MPs are openly calling for his resignation. Absolutely brilliant strategic thinking. Because it gets properly spicy when you look at what his own backbenchers are saying. Brian Leishman, Labour MP for Illawarra and Grangemouth, so there must be a change in political direction from the very top, and Starmer should question whether he should follow McSweeney's lead one last time and resign for the good of the country and the Labour Party. That's his own MP, not the opposition, not some disgruntled minister who got passed over for promotion. His own backbench Labour MP publicly suggesting the Prime Minister should resign. If you're enjoying this breakdown of a government eating itself alive, go ahead and subscribe because this is only going to get messier. Ian Byrne, MP for Liverpool West Derby, piled on saying this won't stop with a single resignation and that Starmer must reflect honestly on whether he should follow McSweeney's lead for the good of the country. Two Labour MPs in one day telling their own Prime Minister to consider resigning. Absolute scenes. And this is after McSweeney took full responsibility for the Mandelson appointment, the decision that reignited fury over Mandelson's links to Jeffrey Epstein. McSweeney fell on his sword and it still wasn't enough to stop the bleeding. So now we've got a Prime Minister preparing a national address as soon as tomorrow while his own party's turning on him, and his solution to losing his chief strategist is to appoint two acting replacements and hope nobody notices the government's held together with sellotape and desperation. Here's what this really means for ordinary people trying to understand what's happening. The government's in full damage control mode. When you lose your chief of staff over a scandal and your own MPs are publicly calling for your resignation, that's not a minor setback. That's a government in crisis trying to pretend everything's fine while the building burns down around them. The pattern's painfully obvious. They made a catastrophic appointment despite warnings from security services. They ignored concerns from the Trump administration. The appointment blew up. The chief of staff resigned. And now instead of one person steering the ship, we've got two people arguing over the wheel while the iceberg gets closer. Westminster's watching to see if this national address tomorrow is Starmer trying to reset or Starmer desperately clinging to power while his own party sharpens the knives. Subscribe if you want tomorrow's drama delivered with the same energy because that speech is either going to stabilize the government or accelerate its collapse. And you've got to wonder, when your own MPs are saying you should resign for the good of the country and the party, how much longer can you actually last?